Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, every once in a while when I would go to the community poetry reading at Half Price Books on the first Wednesday of every month, I would bring along a little container of maybe vitamin water or something in a plastic jug. I can't be at community poetry right now because things are still under quarantine. Sniff, sniff, sniff. I'm sorry, Tom Woodruff, that you cannot run that open mic. But in honor of that, I thought I'd be amongst a bunch of books and share some readings from recent poetry books from Scars Publications, as I did in past months. It ran from 1 to 3 in the afternoon on the first Wednesday, and in honor of that, I was reading things from select Scars Publications books. Right now I'm drinking tea. For people in the live feed, it's black and white, and you cannot tell what this is. It's tea, just so that you know. But I get a bit parched doing all of this reading, ladies and gentlemen. And it's too warm for a jacket, but I'll put that tea down. I thought that I would read something that is not from a Scars Publications book. I was recently asked people in India on the other side of the planet, which is cool because I actually spent time in India for my 20-year anniversary of being a vegetarian, which was excellent, cool, and fascinating to learn from. In such a huge country, so I was not at the part of the country of the people who made me this offer, but they have just released a 137-page book of my poetry. I think I was asking people online if we can come up with ideas for a name, and I believe Jason Noah was one of the people that suggested this title, and it is Eternal Never Ending Now. I'm trying to do it so that people can see it. It's so impossible to see with this crazy lighting. But if you would like to know anything about this book, it is from cyberwit.net that they've decided to publish this book of my poetry. This is a scene, people can't see it on the live feed, of a river, and you can see lines of trees where it says Eternal Never Ending Now on. And in fact, for people who know me on Facebook, the Facebook cover picture that I use for this month is a photo of myself and my husband because his birthday is in March. But from that photo was what was derived, my author photo for the back cover. Let's see if I can zoom in. And this thing on the back cover of this book with my bio there is actually on the back cover of the book, which is kind of cool. And there's everything you want to know about this book and about me at cyberwit.net. I believe I'm running an open mic on Sunday, and I might read from this select poems at the beginning of the open mic. I'll start early so I don't take up a lot of space during the open mic for Poetic License, which is this Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. There's a Zoom meeting and there's a Facebook event page if you want to know anything about it. The Zoom meeting is hosted by John F. McMullen. I'm talking too much about that and I should be reading. So I'm looking for poems in this book that I would not read there. So these are going to be, and in honor of Tom Woodruff, who ran this poetry open mic on the first Wednesdays of every month. He always wore a ton of glasses, and there's a couple other goofy shaded glasses here, so this is why I've got these guys on. But I thought I'd just find some random poems that I wouldn't read at my open mic, so this is for you guys. And I should also say hello to the people who are watching live. Hey Dave, you're double plus awesome. So I'm just gonna weave through this and see what we come up with. This first one is on page 46 of the book, and it's titled Burn It In. It's a Reaching the End edit. It's written in 2016, 2017, edited up. Burn It In, Reaching the End edit. Once I was at a beach off the west coast of Florida with a friend on New Year's Eve. I watched the waves crash as the yellow moon swung over the Gulf like a swaying lantern. My friend watched a scene and said, I want to look at the scene and memorize it, burn it into my brain, record it in my mind so I can have it with me when I want it, so that I can have it with me always. I too have my recorders. I burn these things into my brain. I burn these things onto pages. I pick and choose what needs to be said, what needs to be remembered. When I first went to college, I was studying to be a computer science engineer. I wanted to make a ton of money. I wanted to beat everyone else, because burned in my brain were the taunts of the kids who were in cliques so that others could do the thinking for them. Because burned in my brain were the evenings of the high school dances that I never went to. Because burned in my brain were the people that I knew that I was better than, who thought that they were better than me. Well, yes, I wanted to make a ton of money. I wanted to beat everyone else, but I hated what I was doing. I hated what I saw around me. I hated all the pain that people put each other through with all of these memories. They just kept flooding me. So in my spare time, to keep me sane, to keep me alive, I wrote down the things I could not say. That was how I recorded things. When I looked around me and saw friends raping my friends, I wrote. I burned into these nightmares with a pen. And yes, I have this recorded. I have all of this recorded. What did you think I was doing when I was stuffing handwritten notes into my pockets or typing long hours in the night? I was sitting in a computer lab, slamming my hands, my fingers into that keyboard because there were too many atrocities in this world, too many injustices that I had witnessed, too many people who had wronged me, and I had a lot of work to do. There had to be a record of what you had done. Did you think your crimes would go unpunished? Did you think that I wouldn't remember? You see, that's what I have my poems for, so that there will always be a record of what you have done. Yes, I have defiled many pages in your honor. You swung your battle axe high above your head and thought that no one would remember in the end. Well, I made a point to remember. Yes, I have defiled many pages. And have you defiled many women? You, the man who rapes my friends? You, the man who rapes my sisters? You, the man who rapes me? Is this what makes you a strong man? Do you want to know why I do the things I do? I had to record these things. This is what kept me together. When people were dying, this is what kept me together. When my friends went off to war, this is what kept me together. And when my friends were raped and left for dead, this is what kept me together. And when no one bothered to notice this or care about this or change this, these recordings kept me together. I need to record these things to remind myself of where I came from. I need to record these things to remind myself that there are things to value and things to hate. I need to record these things to remind myself that there are things worth fighting for, worth dying for. I need to record these things to remind myself that I am alive. Hi, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That was the first one in this bonus section for the last reading in honor of community poetry, and say hi to the new people who have arrived for our Facebook Live feed. Hello, I'm waving at you. Acknowledge me. No, you don't have to acknowledge me. I just thought I'd acknowledge you back. Don't make a noise on my phone because I'm recording here.